So wonderful to be with so many friends here today. Are you excited? God bless America. Charlton Heston once said, "Those dead old white guys who invented this country, they knew what they were talking about." So often, all we need to do to inspire us for future fights is to look at the examples of the past. Our founding fathers and our former leaders, they charted a visionary path for our country. They created an exceptional experiment of freedom and a personal responsibility that would withstand centuries of storms and challenges. To keep what they built, we must be people who act on values and character rather than our personal benefit. So much of who we are is determined by how we were raised. Now listen, I didn't grow up in politics. On our farm and ranch, we didn't talk about politics, we lived them. We had a gun cabinet in our living room. We had a shotgun hanging in the back window of every single pickup and tractor. Our family vacations were even hunting trips. Long before I ever ran for office, I became a lifetime member of the NRA. My dad taught us life lessons. He taught us common sense, and often those were taught during our hunting trips. As soon as we were old enough to ride a horse, he would take us hunting. He'd pack us by horseback, sometimes 20 miles back into the wilderness to hunt elk. I didn't always know it back then, but those hunting trips gave me a lot of confidence. They helped me become a problem solver. For instance, I remember being only about 9 or 10 years old, and we had hunted all day, miles and miles from camp in the high country in the Bighorn Mountains, when my dad turned to me and he said, "Kristi, hunt your way back to camp. I'm going to go around this ridge and I'll meet you there at dark." And he disappeared over the ridge. Now, to a 10-year-old girl, this was terrifying. And as strange noises came and darkness fell, I had to rely on my instincts and my horse to find my way back to our tent. Now, years later, Mom shared with me that my dad had followed me at a safe distance all the way back to camp to make sure that I got there safe. Now, before you get all warm and fuzzy on him, I also want to tell you that he made bear noises the whole time he was following me. Scratching trees and growling at me, so, he made sure I lived, but he wanted me to be lived scared. But he made me stronger. And it also made me realize that I could conquer challenges that were put in front of me. It made me who I am today, and that's the first female governor of the state of South Dakota. Now with me today, I have my husband, Brian, who has been with me every step of the way for the last 31 years. Now I want to thank him for all of his support, but also for the amazing family that we've been blessed with. And speaking of family, I've got 3 kids, 2 son-in-laws, and did you know that I'm also a grandmother? Not just once, but twice. Have 2 beautiful grandchildren. For those of you with grandchildren, there is no question as to why we get up every day and we fight. We get up every day and we fight for our values. Little Miss Addie, who is almost 2, and Branch, who's just a few months old, they have brought us so much joy. They've brought us purpose. Now Addie, who, soon will need them, I want to reassure you, she already has a shotgun and she already has a rifle. And she's got a little pony named Sparkles too, so the girl is set up.